we are focusing on the campaign for registration, which is between now and Monday. From Monday, we are starting with a new campaign that deals or looks at issues like economy and jobs. We have circulated amongst our groups as members message that relates to that. So please be prepared to start working on that campaign. What we are asking you, members and structures of ActionSA, to do is to assist us to identify failures in terms of the economy. As you know, one of the main issues that drives the economy is infrastructure. And infrastructure, it's part of the levers, policy levers that we have come up with out of our policy conference. So we are asking you to look at those issues. What can we identify that we can fix as those that will be in government after May? Because it's important that we don't only criticize, but we also come up with solutions, so that people can be able to believe in us to say, yes, we are going to take them into government, but this is what they are going to do. So we are just saying to you, please look out for that. But most importantly, we want to hear the president talking to us this morning. And after that, we can be able to go and hit the ground. I think all of us know Tate Mashaba, the former mayor of the city of Johannesburg. We know him as an entrepreneur. You see, our economic policies are based on entrepreneur growth, entrepreneur-led economy, meaning that we want small businesses to be the one that will create more jobs. We know that government, in some cases, we do have an opportunity to create mesebetsi. We can insource security guards, we can insource cleaners, but most of the work is going to be created by SMMEs. So it's very important that we must acknowledge that, and we are very lucky to have a president who has an experience in developing a business from the ground up until it became a multi-billionaire business that it is. So we are going to ask him to come and address us, to motivate us, to encourage us as we get into the registration weekend tomorrow, and as we continue with our campaign towards 2024. Viva Herman Mashaba, viva! Viva! Viva President Herman Mashaba, viva! Viva! Viva the incoming President of South Africa, Herman Mashaba, viva! Viva! Thank you very much, President.
Dumelang batho ba Orlando West Extension. Dumelang actioners. It's really wonderful to see you on a Friday coming here because you have interest in the future of our country. I think before I start, I'd really like to call my cousins to come here, Kimba, officially introduce them to you, because I grew up coming here, visiting my uncle around the corner. So I know this area quite well. It's as much as Kimutwa Haramutse. But I just want to introduce you to my family. Where's Noi? Orlando West Extension, my uncle, these are my cousins, Juela Remitza Kila. Nelly Kila is go Polong, our Kila, you know. So Remitza Kila, get Juela, but obviously now lives in Kanaki Kibla Park. Juela has been a very active member of our society, and sister Noi and Erika. Erika is the one who said, Herman, you've got to really come here. People of Orlando West misses you. They remember you as a young boy coming here, spending time with us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my family. And so, colleagues, you can see I'm not lost here. I'm at home as well. Yeah. So thank you so much. Why are we here this morning? As you are aware, it is the final weekend of voter registration. We expect the president might proclaim the day of election. And obviously, once that is gone, it's gone. So I think as actioners, we've got to go all out to save our country this coming election. Whether they're going to be in May, but they can't be beyond August. So I think it's very important. And I think, colleagues, I want you to know, and I'm not a prophet, in the event we fail to remove this uncaring, unpatriotic, corrupt government out of power, our country is in trouble. So I think for me, this project of ours, it's about the future of our children. We cannot afford, if we do allow this current unpatriotic, uncaring government to be in power, we are going to fail future generations because they're going to live in a country, Zimbabwe will be like a Sunday school picnic. And now we've got to ask ourselves, as adults at the time, if we'll still be alive. Because we live in a country where genocide is happening today. Are you people aware this country, 80 people are being murdered every single day? 80 people. And these are recorded numbers. These are recorded cases. We are the murder capital of the world. Colleagues, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of a country to live in a country where we murder 80 people like every single day. In the meantime, we have a democratic government that people voted for in 1994. Every 11 minutes, a woman is being raped in this country. And I look at our women, be here in Orlando West, be in Pretoria, be in KZN, every 11 minutes, a woman is raped in this country. Now for us men, do we want to live in a society like that? I don't want to. And as I'm saying, for us as men, we've got to really take the responsibility because this is happening because this unpatriotic government is allowing this to happen. We live in a country where we've opened our borders for international drug cartels to come and destroy our youth. And in the process of destroying our youth, they destroy our families. Our way of life has been completely disrupted. Are we not taking responsibility for our youth? And we should not really take responsibility for the future of our youth by banning tires and banning clinics in our schools and our infrastructure. Let us use a democratic process by just putting a cross, making sure that we go out and vote this unpatriotic. And I want to emphasize unpatriotic because there's just no way any patriotic government can be doing what this current government is doing. These people don't like this country. We are second or third in line. Like, you know, I grew up under apartheid government where we were the third citizens of this country, if ever we were a citizen. But this country's priorities is not us South Africans. They have demonstrated. That's why they open borders. Some of the political parties are talking about having open borders. They want to come and test whether lawlessness can prevail in South Africa. And I want to send a message to those who are saying they want South Africa to be a test ground for open borders. Let them go and try it somewhere else, not here in South Africa. South Africa is a sovereign country. 12 million of our own people are unemployed. Why I would say this government is unpatriotic. The president just over a week ago, I don't know what they're smoking. He said to us, and he expects us to celebrate. He said when they took over power in 1994, 4.2 million whatever people were on social grants. And he expects us to celebrate that today 28 million people are on social grants. How can anyone expect normal people to celebrate failure? When you have 28 million people in a population of roughly 60 million, 80 million people are dependent on the state to survive. Is that not a failure? You have to be a fool not to really say this. It's an insult for the president or this party to expect us to celebrate this. So what we are calling on you guys, on you fellow South Africans, let's go house to house to make sure that we open the eyes of South Africans to say not in our name. We are going to register to vote and we are going to vote this government out of power. It is my wish, it is my dream, it is my wish, it is my dream. Come the elections this year, this must be the last time that we see an ANC government in Gauteng. A ActionSA has got to be the party that wins Gauteng on our own, or be the party that's the biggest to run a coalition government. Because when we run a coalition government, we know we'll run a successful one. Why we'll run a successful coalition? Because we will respect our coalition partners. So when you go out and talk to people, they must give us outright majority. It will be lovely to get outright majority. But in the event we don't get outright majority, make us the biggest political party. And I'm quite confident of ActionSA emerging as the biggest party. Do you really know what happened in 2021? First time election, a year-old party contesting as a logo. I see playing games with us. ActionSA here in Gauteng, out of 9 municipalities, ActionSA only contested 3. ActionSA received 11% of Gauteng. Now imagine, we've now, almost 3.5 years old party. We've got our structures throughout the country. We are led by ethical, hardworking chairperson here in Gauteng. I see no reason why ActionSA should not really be the biggest party here in Gauteng. We win it on our own, but at the end of the day, we're not just interested in winning Gauteng. We want to change the lives of our people. We don't just want to really be in government. We want to be in government so that we can serve our people, not serve our stomachs. Yes. Yeah. We cannot live in a country where 12 million of our people are unemployed. We cannot live in a country where 60% of our youth are unemployed. We cannot live in a country where our youth have been destroyed by corruption and drug dealers. You go around the townships here, who are running shops, people who don't know who these people are. Under ActionSA will not happen. You're gonna run. As soon as we take over Gauteng, we'll have a special task force that is going to ensure that anyone running business in our communities, in the Gauteng province or anywhere where we govern, anyone running business must have the papers to be in South Africa. And we want to know how you acquired those papers. If you acquire them fraudulently, we are not going to hesitate, and we are not going to apologize to anyone. We are going to send you back where you came from. We are not going to. You will be registered. If you are here legally, we will support you. We'll have a red carpet for you. But tell us how you brought them. Show us also how you brought the money into this country. If that person brought the money in this country through the same channels that the president of the country is using, bringing money through mattresses, that is not going to be acceptable. We can't live in a country where presidents of country bring money through mattresses. Now, because imagine when a president of the country does not respect the laws of a country. Now, in the same breath, we have 12 million of our people unemployed. Some of our youth with university degrees. Do you expect them to respect the laws of this country? No, it can't be. So that's why we make sure that we bring back the rule of law. As Funzi indicated to you, we ran a very successful program based on education to make sure that we can encourage our youth to go back to school and take education seriously. Because it is only through education that one can really have actual freedom. Now or on Monday, this weekend, we're going to focus on voter registration. From Monday, we want to focus on ActionSA's policies as regards economic prosperity. Because it's only through economic prosperity that we can take our country forward. We can't be a proud nation when we are poor. And why can we be poor in a country as rich as South Africa? South Africa is going through this difficulty because, unfortunately, we are led by a criminal enterprise. We've allowed ourselves to be clearly led by people who don't care about us. They care about everybody else in the world except South Africans. That is why every time you as a South African, you're on the right side of the law, you don't get attention. But to be on the wrong side of the law, they will unleash so-called human rights lawyers on us. So the only time they expect you to enjoy being a South African, that's when you're on the wrong side of the law. What kind of country is this? We are going to fix this. ActionSA is not going to be friends with the criminals. I've made it really very clear. Actioners, anyone who believes in our party, if you like criminals, please go somewhere else. There are lots of criminal political parties. This political party believes very strongly in the rule of law, because that's the only way we can really build our country. One thing that we are unapologetic about is the fact that we want to see redress of black, white, and Indian people. We've been discriminated against for many years. And now this government in 2003 came out with what they termed broad-based black economic empowerment. Tell me, who's benefited out of this triple BEE? Cadres. We produced oligarchs like Russia. We are, as ActionSA, we say no, not under our watch. We had a policy conference 12th to the 14th of September for 3 days. We've come out with policies where unapologetically we are saying we need address for those who were discriminated against in the past. But we are not going to do it through failed policies. We come out with our own policy. And our conference adopted what is known today as an inclusive economic empowerment, where we will establish an opportunity fund. Businesses are going to contribute to this fund. And this fund is going to make sure that here in Orlando, anywhere in the country, public schools in here must be the same as a public school anywhere in the country, be in Sandton or Waterkloof. We make sure that entrepreneurs from here in Orlando are given funding to make sure that they're the ones running, not spaza shops. We want them, yes, they must start small, but we want to see them grow like how I grew Black Like Me. Do you guys know how I started Black Like Me in 1985? In a 200 square meter factory with my wife and 2 partners, 4 of us, with a 30,000 rands loan from Walter Dube. We employ 1 person, 2nd person. By the 2nd of February, it's the 2nd today, huh? On the 2nd of February 1990, when F.W. de Klerk made announcement to release political prisoners, hardly 5 years later, starting in a 200 square meter factory in 1985, by 1990, I was owning my own factory, over 6,000 square meters. I spent over 10 million rands of my own money. I did not borrow money from anyone. So it is possible. We don't want the Black Like Me case study to be an exception. Because when I voted for Nelson Mandela in 1994, that's why I've said so many times that I was going to see an explosion of black talent. I was going to see an explosion of black entrepreneurs running businesses, factories, employing our people. Today, unfortunately, our youth are given drugs. They are being expected to live on 350 rands a month. What an insult. Can you live on 3,500 rands a month? Even on 3,500 rands a month, there's just no way that you can survive. But this government, with the president, proudly so, says, no, you must survive on 350 and they are not saying you must survive. They say you must celebrate their success. What an insult. What an insult. What we are saying as ActionSA in terms of our policy on economic prosperity, no union, and I can, majority of you can attest what happened to you while you are unemployed. And you look at the leadership of COSATU today. They went from 1994, closing down one business after the other. It is for that reason, as ActionSA, we are saying no union will have a say on our economic policies. We will listen to you. You have a democratic constitutional right to be here. But one thing for sure, Us as ActionSA, when we take over government, we are not only going to save self-interest, we are going to serve people of this country. It is for that reason that COSATU or anyone else will never have a veto right on our economic policies, so that those who are not employed can be able to really work. If ever there's someone prepared to really give employment opportunities, we will never stop that. The only role we will play as government to ensure that there's health and safety measures. We will make sure that when you work for someone, that person must give you an employment letter with what they promise you to do. We'll have a very tough policies to ensure that health and safety measures. But we are not going to be the ones to determine how much people must be paid. Because what that system does, it actually robs people of an opportunity to grow. Because COSATU does not want people to grow. They do believe in all of us. Anyone who's up, they are not saying, please aspire to someone who's up. They say, no, all of us, we must be down. We saying as ActionSA, no. We want to see clever blacks. This party must produce clever blacks, engineers, accountants. Are you aware 80% of public schools in this country are dysfunctional? And you know why they're not dysfunctional? There's a union called SATU. They're the ones who decide who becomes the principal of schools, who must be the teachers. Let ActionSA be given an opportunity to be in government. SATU's influence and role in education is going to come to an end. We are going to have one Department of Education, one education. We don't need Blade and Mutseha. Because I can tell me as a normal person, can you take your child to a school where NG Mutseha is a school principal? Let's face it. Can you take, if you have a chance, NG Mutseha is a principal of a school, and you've got to decide, can you take your child to NG school?
No ways. No.
Given a chance, you've got Blade Mzimande as a rector of a university. Will you take your child to that school where Blade Mzimande is at school? Colleagues, these are not matters of play. These are serious matters. And now you look at how the Blade and NG have been rewarded by the current government. How long have they been in government? Because you know why? They deliver. If any one of you have followed my career over many years, when I was in business, I wanted South Africans to know that this government wants to see black people poor, uneducated. And that's the reason why they're still keeping NG and Blade. They are delivering to this government to keep black people poor and uneducated. For us as an ActionSA, we want the black people to prosper like any other race anywhere in the world. So we'll not really allow this kind of nonsense. We are in schools, we are going to bring back school inspectors. Yeah. We are going to bring back school inspectors. My cousin Joel, a young man like this, retired. He's been a teacher from the 80s, retired at 60. These are people properly trained, unlike the kind of training that's being offered by Blade Mzimande and NG Mutseha. As ActionSA, before the elections, we are going to be calling on all retired South Africans under the age of 75. Please come back to apply. Whether you're an engineer, you're a teacher, you're a policeman or woman, please come back in the system. We can't have a 70-year-old young person to be retired in a country where we need the expertise. We will start obviously with the training of our children, and we are going, as ActionSA, we are going to be spending more money in ECD centers. The days when today, as you are aware, this government is spending 3 times more money to a rapist or a murderer in jail than a child at an ECD center. Under ActionSA, you are in jail, a murderer, a rapist. This government is not going to spend any cent on you. You are going to work to be accommodated. Monday to Friday on a day like this time. No prisoners, all those who are sentenced, I can tell you they'll be working in the farms producing martapu, lali, tamati for us. No one is going to be in prison cells. Where prison is going to be prison. We are not going to be reforming murderers. I don't want to reform murderers. Someone who's saving life, there's no parole. So why must I waste public monies to educate them? Let them go and work. We need potatoes, man. We need to feed this nation. Money must go into ECD centers run by our communities to make sure that when you go to work, you can go and leave your child in an ECD center. But it's not an ECD center that just looks after your children. It's an ECD center that actually prepares your children for the future, so that by the time they start normal schools, they can read for meaning. We want our children, by the time they reach 5 years of age, they must read for meaning. Today, 80% in public schools, our children cannot read for meaning. We were celebrating, spending millions in celebration. Barbana baruna ba passes, got 30%. Barba passes, got 30%. That is going to really come to an end. That's a message that I would really want you. When you go from house to house, you understand what we stand for. We must do less singing, more talking, so that people actually understand what we stand for. Because we stand for the future of our country. We stand for making sure that future generation can live in a better country than the one that you and I currently live in. You and I must actually serve to create the foundation. And that foundation has to be so strong that no storm can ever actually shake it. So it is important. South Africans are ready for us. I was in the Eastern Cape last week this time. I was really inspired, deeply touched. If I look at the suffering of our people in the Eastern Cape and how they've been voting all along, they didn't know what was happening. I opened their eyes. Lucky enough, people of Soweto in 2021 opened their eyes. Baba bonsa spoke. Laizo bonsa motu spoke. For the first time in the democratic dispensation, ActionSA, as much as they try to play games with us, but the contest is as a logo. For the first time, ActionSA managed to get 22% of the support here in Soweto. For the first time. For the first time. We're the second biggest political party. And we're the second biggest political party in Soweto. The third one, almost half our size. They can fill up stadiums, but also Soweto, yes. Invite them to stadiums and get Soweto. Habali invite also entertain a little bit. Can in the buses go and have fun. Please, Soweto. Ask these people from today onwards. They'll be coming to your homes. They're aware that here, some of them are here listening to us. So let me warn you, so that please listen if you represent those people. Please, how about to recruit? Lord, but the food parcels. The kids are hungry. Is it not true? 54% of our people are hungry. 12 million South Africans are not are unemployed. So if they want to come and recruit in your house, no. Tell them, you know what, I'm happy to listen to you, but please bring the food parcels. Banabaka are hungry. But you know the day when you go and vote, what to do.